listening to Clearer, Calmer, Wiser, a short daily reset for thoughtful men who lead with strength and humility. Tools and reflections to help you back to clarity and calm, especially when you're triggered. Maybe a manager undermined you, or a conversation doesn't go your way, or, quite honestly, the kids are just too annoying at the end of a long and busy day. I'm Ben, and everything I share here comes from LeanMind, a set of simple, grounded tools to help you shift your state fast so that you can think clearly, act calmly, and lead wisely. Let's get into it. Today's little contribution is for those days when you feel that you are sort of spinning an impossible number of plates, juggling an unmanageable number of balls, trying to move, cajole, manage, manipulate a whole load of moving parts into some sort of coherent form. The moving parts might, of course, be at home. The moving parts might be at the workplace. The moving parts probably, of course, bleed between these two things. This feeling of sort of stress and struggle that can come from managing complexity in this nature. One of my friends spoke about the wish, the need, the desire to find that simplicity on the other side of the complexity. And that's, I think, that we're talking about. This managing, cajoling, moving, manipulating, trying to hold this sort of almost endless stream of moving parts together into a coherent whole. Now, how do you do that? How do you find this simplicity on the other side of complexity? Part of that, of course, is about the need for focus, not effort, as we spoke about on yesterday's little podcast. So if you haven't listened to that, I invite you to check it out. The second thing, of course, that we need in order to find this simplicity on the other side of complexity is the need, the ability, the opportunity to filter, to cut away the noise, to remove the distractions, to find that simplicity, that clarity amidst it all. Now, how we do this when there is an endless stream of demands on our time. Many people exist in the nightmare scenario that is back-to-back calls, which of course is the enemy of almost anything useful. How to filter, how to cut away the noise, how to focus only on the most important thing, how to even know what is indeed the most important thing. The first thing I'm reminded of in this is a little quote that was shared by an old school Zen teacher from the 60s and 70s, so many years ago now. He was asked by a student. We can only imagine a student in some sort of state of turmoil. Teacher, what's the most important thing? To which he replied with all his gnarly Zen wisdom, the most important thing is to know the most important thing. And, whilst that may feel like it's offering no insight, no solution, it's also deeply profound. Do we know the most important thing? Do you know the most important thing? Do you know the thing which should demand attention, focus above all else today? And that, in turn, takes me to a lovely little story that I heard recently, which was shared about the man, George Raveling, I think is his name, who was the first person to head up basketball for Nike. He was the person who brought Michael Jordan in, and for those who don't know, that turned into rather a fruitful, long-running relationship. He was the person who created Nike's presence in basketball. He'd come from US college basketball, so kind of significant in its own right, but very different to the corporate environment that he found himself in. And he spoke about the insecurity that came from starting his new role, the imposter syndrome that came from starting his new role. But he was offered a tip, some advice to help him manage this. And for me, this same thing is important to help us understand how to filter, how to focus only on the most important thing. Indeed, how to even know the most important thing. And the advice was this: keep a clean desk, and at the end of every day, upon your clean, clear desk, take a little notepad, might be a post-it notes, whatever, and on your notepad, the post-it note, write only three things which are the most important three things for you to do tomorrow. And when you come in tomorrow morning, you start at the top of the list, do number 1, and you do not move on until item number 1 is complete. And then you move to item number 2, and you do not move on until item number 2 is complete. And then you come to number 3, and you do not move on until number 3 is complete. Anything and all other things are unimportant in comparison to these 3 things. These are the signal amidst your noise. This is what demands focus and clarity amid the noise. So this is my invitation to you today, a way for you to find your way to the most important thing. When you come to the end of the day today, do the same. Clear your desk, grab a notepad, spend a few moments in thought, and come up with just the 3 most important things for you to complete tomorrow. And focus only on these. Now, if you find this little contribution useful, of course, please like it, please share it, please follow. We offer a new one of these every day. You can find all of the tools that we talk about here over at LeanMind, and that is www.leanmindway.com. Everything's available there, as is a growing community of people who are practicing around these tools and doing this work of refining and feeling into knowing the most important thing. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.